Hello, this is the Daily Forex report for October 11th. We are looking at the US Japanese yen pair. This pair gapped down, did retrace that gap fairly quick, made a new low, however it did close higher. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 82.83, possibly as low as 80.90. Look for some resistance around the 82.55 mark, and look for some support around 81.38. Now the Euro USD pair, this pair gapped up, has retraced that gap, starting to move sideways to some degree. Still definitely has an upward bias, so look for this pair to potentially go as high as 140.91, possibly as low as 137.40. Look for some resistance around 140.30, and look for some support around 137.95. Now let's take a look at the pound US dollar pair. This pair continues to move sideways, have a bias that's to the upside, did create an inside bar during this last session, gap down just a little bit at the open, has closed down. We are looking for this pair to potentially go as high as 160.47, possibly as low as 157.66. Look for some resistance around 159.66 and possibly hitting some resistance around 158.19. Now the US Swiss, this pair gapped down, retraced the gap, closed higher, moving sideways overall, biased still slightly to the downside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9734, possibly as low as 0.9515. Look for some resistance around 0.9685 and look for some support around 0.9550. Now, as far as news announcements go, the German CPI is being released for September, which will affect the euro, of course, at 2 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Consensus is that it has held at 1.3%. The pound is releasing their consumer price index for September at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it's held at 3.1%. And we have the U.S. FOMC meeting minutes being released at 2. Of course, the news has already been released, so most likely the minutes really won't affect the US dollar all that much. Well, as far as what I'm looking at during this next session, let's take a look at the pound. Pound did create an inside bar over this last session, so some potential breakouts to that. Definitely looking for it to take out that high, and potentially to the downside taking out this low. So basically what that looks like, if we get a breakout to the upside, roughly about a 54 pip move. To the downside, which is the most likely direction, looking at it going down about 36 pips. So that's the breakouts, looking for those in the pound US dollar pair. Now the Euro USD has created a swing trade opportunity over the past 3 sessions. Let me put this on here real quick. Try to identify a good place to put a potential exit to the upside. We have one, and it's right here. Now let's zoom back in, and we'll talk about this potential breakout to the upside. We have, if you notice here, we have an area of previous resistance. If you come over, scroll over, you can see that same area of resistance that has been there before right here. And if you go up just a little bit further, we have another area here of potential resistance and support, which would now be resistance. So those are the 2 areas to look for. Let's zoom back in. There we go. Now our trend line will be right there, so you could either look to grab a very quick scalp if there's room. We've got about 25 pips there, then look for it to come on up to about 180 pips. Be a very large range day if it from where it's at now to this very top line, 300 pips or so. That has happened in the past, but most likely would not happen. But definitely look for a quick 30 pip move right there if it does move to the upside. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.